Hi everyone, and welcome back to my channel. My name is Callie Johnson, and I'm a certified embodied dance teacher. On this channel, I like to talk about mental health, spirituality, dance, and living your best life. So for today's video, as you can see, normally I would be on here like looking my best with my makeup on and everything, except some of my shorts I don't, because I'm usually out walking or something. But I was just sitting here and I was making some notes about what I wanted to talk about with this topic today. And as I was writing, I was just feeling very moved. And I felt like if I tried to write a bunch of notes and then go back and talk about it, that it wouldn't feel as authentic. And I want to be here and be as authentic as I can with you all, especially when it comes to this topic. So today I'm going to talk about grief. Now, this is what is very near and dear to my heart. As many of you all know, this is what was sort of the catalyst for me wanting to put myself out there to help others in their wellness journey and, finding peace in their lives. And a few things I'm just gonna kind of sit here and read a little bit, but when we talk about grief, this is such a core part of the human experience. And what are two things that we all as humans have in common here is that we all are born and then one day we die. And if that alone in and of itself doesn't tell you that we are absolutely all connected, I don't know what will, but we are. We all come in and leave the same way. And part of that human experience is the experience of universal love and human connection. So when we are still having our living physical experience and we go through loss, the feeling of grief is one of the most painful experiences of love that a human being can feel. And one of the biggest things with love is that its opposite is probably pain, in my opinion. And going into loving usually will end in pain. And for some of us, that is the experience of loss and losing somebody through death, crossing over, however you want to say it. And the physical loss of that human being. When we grieve, we are learning to physically detach ourselves from a person. And that physical 3D aspect of love. And this can feel like losing a part of yourself, because if you have loved a human being in any shape or form, whether that's a family member, a friend, a partner, even an animal, when they are no longer a part of the 3D human experience, it feels like you've lost a part of you. And in a sense, that is true, because we all are all connected to each other. So you do feel like you've lost a part of yourself through losing a human being. Now, when we experience this pain of loss, unfortunately, you know, in Western, particularly Western society, we're not necessarily set up in a way that allows us to go through the experience of coping with that loss, understanding the loss, making peace with it within, like, especially within yourself, and being able to let go and detach from a person's no longer being with you anymore. It's usually we've got to have a funeral real quick, go cry for 3 days, get your ass back to work. But actually, in my experience in particular, and I feel like a lot of people would resonate with this, but the real grieving doesn't happen until all of that is over. Because in the thick of it, when somebody passes, there's usually a lot going on, and it's all leading up to ceremony, if you choose to do ceremony. And once the ceremony's over, then what? How do we make our peace as we kind of get back into our lives and create a new life without said person being a part of it anymore? And I think a lot of the times, people are just expected to get over it. And if you experience emotion at all, more than likely you're not just going to get over it immediately. Yes, we strive to, like, get better over time, but grieving is a very unique process to each individual, and something that is neglected to be taught in Western civilization. A lot of the times, families no longer spend time with the body before, you know, cremation or it being put into the ground, especially if it's something that happens suddenly too. We've really lost our connection with death being a rite of passage, and an opportunity for that soul to cross over and be reborn again, if that's something that you believe in. I'll just kind of just speaking from my perspective. But how do we move this through our bodies? How do we heal and find a sense of peace and joy for the person that is no longer physically present with us? And first and foremost, you know, I think it's really important, give yourself that space to just ugly cry as much as you need, and letting it out. Give yourself permission to not be okay for a little bit. You're getting used to the fact that a major part of your life, somebody that was there, is no longer. So we have to allow ourselves to find that physical detachment through crying, whatever it is that you need to do, screaming, yelling, going for walks, I mean, anything, looking at photos, smelling their clothes. give yourself time to make peace with it. Once we've gotten through the initial blow of that, how do we continue to carry on and find that part of that person or animal, whatever? How can we find ways to reconnect and find that part of them that's a part of us regularly to help heal and find joy in their life rather than being trapped in the grief and the misery and the pain of their loss? Once we start alchemizing the grief is when we're able to more easily communicate with our beloved dead while they are no longer present with us in this reality. This could look like writing a letter to them. It could look like recalling your fondest memories rather than staying in the loop of the painful memories. This could look like meditating on that person while you're listening to some of their favorite music, sporting a shirt that they used to have, little things and little elements of their physical life that you can bring their energy back to you. In my Embodied Dance program, I help guide people through movement and meditation to embody the movement of their loved ones. I also help them create dance movement to help recreate fond memories in order to help commemorate their beloved. There's so many ways that you can actually, whether you believe in spirits or not, maybe you don't, but become the medium yourself. Movement is a beautiful way to embody and channel another human being that you would still like to be in communication with. And that's one thing that I am here to offer to people, is to help them reconnect to their beloved dead and to find a way to speak to them or commemorate them even though they're not on the physical plane. This is a very powerful practice, and I would love to share that with anybody that is interested. So please feel free to reach out to me, whether that is through just by leaving a comment here on YouTube. You can also email me at callie.johnson.dance@gmail.com. And if you have any questions or just need someone to talk to, you can always reach out to me too, because the process of grieving is so unique to each individual, just as the person they're grieving was so unique to this world. And you haven't been abandoned. You just have to find that there is a different way that you can love them and keep them alive in different ways. So I hope that this video was helpful. I feel like I rambled a little bit, but I just wanted to let everyone know that they're not alone in their grief, and it is a unique process to heal. And really, it's more of allowing your heart to become bigger and grow stronger, and a way of finding that you don't realize how much of capacity you have to love until you've experienced that pain of loss, but know that it's actually a beautiful thing. So I love all of you so much. Thank you for tuning in, and I will see you all on the next one. Bye.